they told me there's two possibilities. Either it goes green channel, where they don't inspect, they don't question the valuation you've put. We had an appraisal done and everything. They won't question that if it's green channel. If it's red channel, they question everything. They inspect everything, and you better be prepared. The day came and my customs agent submitted the documentation, and she said, I've submitted the documentation, but the system went down. So it's an automatic sort between red and green. It's luck, right? She said the system went down, so we didn't get a red or green. They have our information, but now an administrator is going to have to make a manual decision. She said 100% guarantee he'll decide red, because it's an aircraft and it's a higher value item and all these things, so it's going to go red. And I said, so it would be a miracle if it went green. And she didn't answer. And as the conversation went on, I repeated that. So you're telling me it'd be a miracle if it went green? And she said, yes. Well, the next morning, I was sitting waiting for some other paperwork, and she texted me and said it went green. And I said, what a miracle. And she said, yes. See, I knew that when there was such a panic in the customs agency about the value and everything, I knew it would be a testimony. I was like, God, I think you're setting me up to connect with these people in a spiritual way. She already had a steps to Christ. And anyway, I was excited what was going on. And she's like, well, now I'm going to submit the second half of the paperwork for the container. Now, if the container went red, not as big a deal because it's not worth as much, but it would mess up all our plans. We'd have to unload the plane in the customs storage facility. It would be difficult. We had a backup plan to do it, but it would have been very inconvenient. And so we had people praying, and she let me know half an hour later the container also came green. So about half an hour after that, I got an insurance policy in my hand. There had been a fatal accident 10 days before with a similar aircraft, and nobody wanted to touch our situation for an insurance policy, but I needed one to be able to get the plane out of customs. They approved me, which was a miracle, and then I got the paperwork just half an hour after we got the container and aircraft cleared from customs. And it was urgent, because if you don't get it out right away, they can change their mind and turn it back to red. So there was this, Lord, like, now you've done it all the way to here. You're not going to let it sit there, are you? And we got the insurance policy. I make a beeline for the customs agency to get the last document, submit them to civil aviation. It's this big round robin process. And I'm there about to walk into my customs agent to get the last document, and I notice the insurance policy is wrong. It has the wrong information on it. It's got the wrong registration number for the airplane, wrong year, everything's wrong. And I turn around to go back to the insurance company. I call my insurance agent who's helping me get the policy, and she says, they won't be able to fix it today. And I'm like, I have to get this out today. You have 48 hours, and if you wait more than 24, it'll go back red. And so God put the thought in my mind, call civil aviation. They're the ultimate authority on what the policy needs to say. I called them. What's the chance that I asked them, can I submit a policy with errors? What's the chance they're going to say yes to that? You know, they don't say yes to these kinds of things. And they said, yeah, you can submit it with errors. Just submit a correction as soon as you can. They said, we won't get to it for another week anyway. You'll probably have the correction in before then. So made a beeline to civil aviation with the policy with errors. Gave it to the secretary, and they said, wait a minute. And I said, oh boy, this could be another tomorrow. Mañana, you know, is a favorite word there. And they went in the back and they said, you need to go see the guy in the back. And I went in there, and it was a guy I know, and he's like, you're missing something. You're missing the cover letter. And I'm just watching him. He has the cover letters in front of him, but maybe it doesn't look like he expects. And he's flipping through, and I had an extra copy, so I pulled it out. Well, would this work? And he's like, yeah, that would work. And he's like, oh, you already had that. Here you go, you're all set. And he hands it back to me, and now I have the paper in my hand to get the plane out of customs. I go to customs and we meet with my agent there, and he's like, oh, the system's down. We can't pay our storage fees, so we can't get it out. Wait 30 minutes. Well, that can mean anything, So we wait 30 minutes, the system comes back up, the truck rolls out, and the airplane's ours, Just, I couldn't believe it. And even the delivery was, something that we weren't sure was going to work. The location we had picked out, everything worked out. And it was one of those moments that you just can't believe what God's doing. There's many times where he grows us in patience and faith, and it takes a long time to do things. And then sometimes it all happens in a day. And I just wanted to share that we serve the God of the impossible. And this, to me, all of this, there's no way, knowing the system down there, to consider this within the realm of normal or possible. Even my customs agent, she said it would be a miracle if the first one comes out green, the big one, the one we care about, the airplane, and then the second one to come out green, and the insurance policy and civil aviation and the actual customs storage payment system. And so I just wanted to share that as an encouragement. God, He put us through lean times. He gave us evidence, but then He made us wait and trust. And in the end, He had it all planned better than we could have imagined. And I just want to give Him the glory for that.